Alright, with the trade of Kevin Byard, we finally got to hear from the two-time All-Pro, but what message did he have for doubters? Plus, Lane Johnson singles out the offense, does he have a point, and why that could change very soon. And Micah Parsons admitted the Eagles are the best team in the NFL. What else is new? But first, let's run it. Hey guys, as most of you know, I'm Josh and I cover the birds. So let's start with Jalen Hurts being seen at a Time magazine event with his girlfriend and taking some pics along with other celebrities like singer-songwriter Tim's, who was seated next to the couple. Because in case you don't recall, Jalen was put on the cover early last month for being recognized as one of Time's next 100 influential members for his leadership and impact both on and off the field. And obviously, there's no doubt QB1 makes a huge impact. But speaking of impact, we've got another guy who's going to make a huge mark in the newly acquired Kevin Byard, and has already made quite the impression.
He's obviously a great veteran, had a lot of success in this league, has played in a lot of different defenses, really smart, great leader, have gotten great reports out of it. So really excited to get him into the room and get him going.
Well, it definitely hasn't taken long. And in case anyone's wondering, Byard officially has number 31 now, with the two-time All-Pro spending extra time in the building meeting with defensive backs coaches to get caught up to speed.
Obviously, I feel like I'm a great player, but at the end of the day, it's not really about that. You know, it's all about what I do. Now I'm here. You know, I've had a great career in Tennessee, but I'm in Philadelphia. I'm a Philadelphia Eagle now. And that's what it's more about, moving forward, making plays to help your team.
Let's just say that's good, although I would have expected that response. But number 31 specifically working with nickel coach Ronell Williams, alluding to the fact that the Eagles will most likely use Byard in a variety of ways. Something the 30-year-old's very comfortable with, especially this season, with him playing 44% of the time at free safety, 33% time in the box, 22% in the slot corner, and 2 snaps on the line. The best part is that Byard shares a special connection with most of our favorite Eagle of all time, being given the locker that Brian Dawkins used to have, and credits Weapon X for a lot of his success.
Huge influence. I've said this multiple times. Brian Dawkins is one of the top safeties I looked up to growing up. Him, Ed Reed, and Trey Polamalu. So big influence on me. I used to, when I first started playing safety in high school, one of the first things I did was go on YouTube and look at this Weapon X video. It was like a hype video, and I was going back and forth every single game I played. I looked at that, so obviously admire his intensity and the way he played the game.
Look, I'm not going to lie, I still don't think it's hit me that we were able to trade a 5th, 6th, and Terrell Edmunds for Byard. Heck, it's probably not hit the Titans yet.
Oh my God, did not see that coming.
Well, they probably should have. I mean, come on, this is the same group who traded away A.J. Brown and now has to watch Swole Batman pick up an NFC Player of the Week award, which according to Jeff Kerr is the first NFC Offensive Player of the Week award by an Eagles receiver since Jeremy Maclin. Oh yeah, and they've also got to see AJ's MVP odds pick up steam since he and Tyreek Hill are head and shoulders above the other pass catchers in the league this season. So I'll be curious how long it takes before they're wondering how on earth did Howie get away with this highway robbery again. Although as the Enquirer's Jeff McClain wrote, Byard's not the same player he once was, saying Byard averaged 10.5 pass breakups and 3.9 interceptions in his first 7 seasons. This year, he has 0 in both categories. Stats don't always tell the story though, and evaluations from 2 AFC scouts who have watched film of the Titans games this season suggest that Byard would be an obvious upgrade over Edmunds and Evans. Alright, did we really need 2 AFC scouts to confirm Byard being an upgrade? Regardless, Byard had a response to the doubters about his age.
I'm about to find out. Yeah, of course I feel like that. You know, this is my 8th season, but I feel really good. Coming off a bye week too, so I'm definitely feeling fresh right now. So, but like I said, I'm excited to get this thing going for sure.
What can I say? There's always going to be haters, and sure, he's getting older, but defensive coordinator Sean Desai also offered his thoughts on the aging vets.
That is the value, the experience. As the guys that have played a lot of football and seen a lot of football, we can always rely on their bank of knowledge. And we're growing that. And the good thing is in this first part of this season, a lot of our young guys have had to grow up and gain some experiences. And they've done a good job of embracing that. And our coaching staff has done a good job of getting them prepared to do that. So this league is about that. Having experiences, going through some things, and whether it's winning or losing, you got to go through those trials and tribulations to callous yourself a little bit and get better, and we're doing that.
Yep, I wholeheartedly agree. Now, it is worth pointing out that Desai made sure to acknowledge that both Eli Ricks and Sidney Brown played really well against Miami, so will for sure continue to have roles moving forward. But getting back to Byard, it's not surprising that some Cowboys fans are trying to cope, saying Byard's currently at a career-low PFF grade, so don't get too excited, Philly. Yet I think those of us on Earth recognize how much of a difference a little motivation does to performance. Plus, Dallas fans know how much of a Dak nemesis Byard is, and you know what? I almost feel bad for him, because it's only a matter of time, or really less than 2 weeks, before we start seeing our new safety making plays like this, leaving Mr. Dakota Prescott with a "how did they get away with this" look. At the same time, shout out to those keeping it real like J-Tuck, who said, "The Eagles smell blood in the water in the NFC, the Dolphins showed a liability and they fixed it. Now, did they need Julio Jones? No, but I guarantee you there's going to be a game where it pays dividends, just like us with T.Y. Hilton last year." I respect that. Julio is going to make a strong impact, but it does make me laugh hearing some complaints on local Dallas stations.
We thought Philadelphia was going to be just demoralized in their cap situation. They went out and re-signed all their guys.
Sorry, I think the correct statement is we didn't sign all our guys, just all the right guys, and at least Micah Parsons can admit it.
Number one will have to be the Philadelphia Eagles. No one has stopped the tush push yet. Javonte Smith could be A.J. Brown's number one receiver. Jason Kelsey, Hall of Famer. Lane Johnson will be a Hall of Famer. They're very special. Their DB core, Darius Slay, crazy talent. James Bradbury, and I know you saw the trade. They just got Kevin Byard. Very special to see. Obviously, I know I was high on Jalen Carter before he even got the Philly. I don't know how he fell to them. Without a doubt, very special group. It's very special to see what they've done. And they still have Reddick. They still have Sweat. I don't believe they have any weaknesses on their team.
Bro, you can't tell me Parsons doesn't want to be an Eagle. It's so obvious at this point. And who wouldn't want to play for defensive coordinator Sean Desai?
I think he's letting us be free and just run around and do what we want. I mean, obviously within the scheme, but we can be free. He's not scared. he's still just doing what he does, and it just makes us trust him even more to put his trust in us.
I mean, you can just feel everyone being bought in, and I know I talked about this in my previous video, but the adjustments we've seen from Desai have been remarkable to keep the opposing offenses guessing. For example, the Eagles had only played cover 2 on 2.9% of snaps through the first 6 weeks of the season. Yet they threw a wrench in Miami's plans by leading the NFL with over 36% coverages being cover 2 against the Fish, which clearly we all saw worked in a variety of areas. And yeah, we know how impressive the run defense has been, ranking number 1 in the NFL by nearly 100 yards over the next closest team. But given the acquisition of Byard along with the growth of the young guys, and getting some of the guys back healthy soon, like Blankenship for example, I expect the pass defense to rank much better by season's end. Curious to know if you agree or disagree, although I will say I'm a lot more confident in seeing that improvement than with the offense, as Lane Johnson called out that specific area for the Birds.
Offense, we're not where we want to be. We're still struggling in the red zone. Didn't have a great day, third downs, but found a way there, and really that last drive or 2 drives to seal it. So we're not clicking on all cylinders offensively. I feel like we haven't all year. So we still got a lot of work to do.
I think it's pretty obvious, yet it does feel a little odd to be saying that when this offense ranks 3rd or 4th, depending on what category you're looking at, because we have no problem moving the ball down the field for the most part, but then just fall flat in the red zone. However, the Birds were 67% against Miami and have shown slight improvement, now ranking 19th in terms of red zone efficiency, so perhaps they're on their way up. Although the bigger liability I think Pave the Lane's pointing at is the Eagles' inability to run since they lost Cam Jurgens to the foot injury, because like Outside the Birds shared, the loss of right guard Cam Jurgens has crippled the Eagles' rushing attack through 3.5 games. When Jurgens is on the field, the Eagles' running backs gained 477 yards on 88 carries, good for 5.4 yards a carry. When Jurgens is out, the Eagles' running backs have gained only 238 yards on 73 carries, which is 3.2 yards per carry. I don't have to tell you that's not great, but the good news is that could soon change, since Jurgens is eligible to come back for the Dallas game in a little over a week. And don't get me wrong, backup right guard Sua Opeta's played fairly well in relief, except that changed Sunday night, with Opeta allowing 6 pressures on 38 pass blocking attempts, 1 sack, 1 hit, and 4 hurries. Now, technically, you could argue that this sack also belonged to Opeta, but either way, he's been not great in the running game, and may have gotten a little lucky to not be called for holding on Miami's David Long during this running play. At the same time, I don't think it's for a lack of effort from Opeta, just more so a lack of athleticism. As Jeff McClain said, Opeta is strong, but he lacks the athleticism of Jurgens, but his issues Sunday seemed more mental than anything else. However, if he continues to play as he did on Sunday, the Eagles may be inclined to move to rookie Tyler Steen ahead of Opeta on the depth chart. Okay, that's tough because as much as I'd like to see the Rook out there, I don't know if O-line coach Jeff Stoutland would give him a chance considering that Jurgens is most likely just a week away. Yet, like I say, I wouldn't mind getting a first look at Mean Steen. But let's be honest, the right guard position probably isn't the only reason for some struggles. And as some fans quickly pointed out, the Colts are the only team to score 20+ points in every game this season. So sure, I'll agree with you that Shane Steichen was a big loss. Yet, as I mentioned a second ago, this offense isn't totally lost. So I think we just need to give offensive coordinator Brian Johnson a little more time to figure it out.
It's been 84 years.
All right, you're right. It's been a little while, but I'm hopeful the continued progression keeps up. After all, we're at least starting to see DeAndre Swift get more involved in the passing game since he's gotten 23 targets over the last 4 contests. Because remember, BJ talked about the passing game being an extension of the running game last week, which I don't agree with, by the way, but if that's what we need to do until Jurgens returns, I guess it's not the end of the world. Anyway, where are you guys at, though? Do you feel like Jurgens coming back solves everything, or are you at least seeing Johnson show some progress?
Baby steps out the door.
At least it's something. I should also mention that the Eagles made a couple roster moves, announcing that they released cornerback Tijuan Mullen and Brett Toth was signed by the Carolina Panthers, allowing the Birds to sign defensive tackle Noah Ellis and linebacker Brandon Smith back to the practice squad. Obviously nothing major, but personally I'm glad to see Smith back on the squad because I'd love to see if Philly can develop him into something long term. Alright, reminder that we're back to live streaming the games this weekend where we'll have play-by-play, reactions, and giving away a Kelly Green jersey. Or I suppose if you win and don't want the Kelly Green, we can get you a different color. Up to you. This has been the Philly Special.